So I'm your host, Ash.
And I'm your host, Percy.
And I am very sorry in advance that from last week's episode, I could not hold still. I find it very hard to hold still. He's come to peace with that. My mom has not, apparently, because she watched it with me last night and kept commenting on how sad it was and how he's such a poor boy, you must frustrate the hell out of him. I know, Mother.
She doesn't.
I'm sorry. Anyway, so today, the day this is being posted will be April 14th, which leads us to our topic. We are talking about today the sinking of the RMS Titanic that hit an iceberg around 11-something p.m. on April 14th and sunk in the early mornings of April 15th. Killing about 1,517 people, which is more than half the passengers on the ship, and 685 of them were crew, 832 of them were passengers.
My name is Percival Davis. I'm your host, and this is Ash. Insert last name here.
I'm not giving them my last name.
And, usually I'm going to try and be in a happy mood, but this topic's something big for me.
It's a really sad topic. So, even for me, because my father was big on Titanic, and I learned a lot of it from him. And it's really sad. It's April. We decided that, maybe it would be good to bring more awareness to the fact that this was a real thing that happened. And we ignore it nowadays like it didn't, but at the time, it killed a lot of people, a lot of kids, moms, dads, husbands, wives, sisters, brothers, dogs, cats, all these animals, all these people that were on the ship at the time. It's a really tragic thing, and it's really unfair to those people that were on the ship at the time. Like my mom would say, it's really dumb, all because they wanted to go faster and get somewhere faster. If they'd taken their time and seen the iceberg, they would have, survived. And my mom makes a very good point. They were trying, it's a good lesson to learn in life. Don't try to get somewhere. I'm trying to find a way to word this. Percy, give me a second.
You're good.
Don't try to, what is it called? Don't try to rush, because sometimes that does not end well. It can get people killed. It can get you hurt, Even in the smallest things, it can have a bad impact. So don't try to rush. Try to, take your time.
So without further ado, let's get straight to the point. On Wednesday, April 10th, 1912, at 12 p.m. noon, the RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton, UK, with 1,846 souls on board. She was on her maiden voyage across. This was when she left Southampton. She went to Ireland and France afterward to pick up everyone else.
There were over 2,000 people on board.
Yeah, she left Southampton with 1,000 people on board and picked up a few hundred on her way.
Oh, fuck! Sorry, you're right. I'm like, bro, she had 2,000 people on board when she sunk. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain does not function like his does. They're very special differences.
Alright, let's redo this. On Wednesday, April 10th, 1912, at 12 p.m. noon. At 12 p.m. noon, the RMS Titanic set sail on her maiden voyage from Southampton, UK, with 1,846 souls on board. She was on her maiden voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. The Titanic's maiden voyage was intended to be the first of many successful transatlantic crossings from Southampton to New York. She would make her first stop at Cherbourg, France. I hope I'm saying that right. At 6:30 p.m. Cherbourg.
Chabarg? How the fuck do you pronounce that?
It's a French word, okay?
Chabarg. I'm not making fun of you French people, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of how you pronounce that, and it went from French to Italian. This isn't... Oh my god!
Hey, don't talk Italian like that.
You still sound like a fucking mobster, I can't.
That's the point!
Like a mix... No, but you sound like a mix of Lucifer and angel dust! Jesus Christ!
Okay.
Langel dust, there we go.
Okay.
Any last words? This isn't even... It's stuck! It's stuck! Wait, let go! I'm so sorry, you guys. We're trying to be serious, but when I'm around him and he's around me, we just can't. Not to save our fucking lives. I was about to make a really bad Titanic joke there. I'm not gonna, Ash, keep it in your belt. Come on, it's supposed to be sad.
Okay, we're cutting that out, right? Or are we leaving that in?
We're leaving that in. I can't.
Okay.
I can't. It's kind of funny. My mom would like it.
The RMS Titanic's
speaking of my mom, can I, before we continue, can I tell them the potato story? Alright, you guys, so, just so I can, like, make it a little funny before we go into this really sadness, because I don't like being sad, you know? We don't like being sad. Anyway, so, today, me and my mom are chilling, we're watching Scream, and she looks at me, she's like, I want a potato. Right? So I'm like, and I just burst out laughing, I'm like, you want a potato? It's like, yeah, I want a big potato. I'm like, you just said potato. She's like, yeah, I want a big potato. I wish I had a potato. And so I said, this is too funny. I'm going to talk to Percy about it. And so I voice messaged Percy on Snapchat. I'm like, you will not believe what my mom just said. She just told me she wanted a baked potato. Just, like, I didn't say baked potato. I'm just like, she just told me she wanted a potato. And he's like, the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, she wants a potato. Oh, wait, I actually have them on Snap. I can play them. Play them. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna hate me. You guys are gonna hate me, but it's so fucking funny. Percy died. Okay, Percy fucking died. So, the whole thing is my mom really wanted a fucking potato. And my mom usually has a bag of fucking potatoes. But today, she did not have a bag of fucking potatoes.
I have no more drink. Sad.
Yeah, he's gonna drink more. Yep, okay, here we go.
Yeah, you might, upload it into the video.
Hey, Percy, guess what my mom just did? She looks at me, she says, I wish I had a potato.
The fuck?
That's what I said. She says she wants a big potato.
The fact that I'm eating a sandwich with potatoes on the side right now is crazy.
It's not even fair.
She says she's jealous.
Sorry.
You two got me dying over here.
You're welcome.
Shut up. And she continues to talk about wanting potatoes.
Oh, yes.
Did I just hear her say "cause yes" in the background?
She said, fuck yes.
No, I said hells yes.
Fuck yes. No, I said hells yes.
Was that voice crack intentional?
Maybe.
You better hope so, because you sound like a 5-year-old going through puberty.
Oh, get off my back, would ya? I've been singing all day.
You called me a bitch for calling you out.
No.
He heard you and went, what?
Huh? What? Huh?
She still wants a potato!
I do want a fucking potato in the worst fucking way.
Give the woman her damn potato. Give her the Irish delight.
She's now laughing her ass off. Thanks for that.
Anytime.
No, she wants me to go to the store with her to get her a fucking potato. That's how.
Sweatpants. I don't want to get dressed and then get dressed in work pants. Like, come on.
Like I said, give her a potato.
Hey, I like him.
What? What was that?
She likes you, I guess. Now I gotta run her to Albertsons to get her a fucking potato. I will be right back.
Dokily dokilies.
Basically, that was the whole conversation, and we did end up going to Albertsons to get her a fucking bag of potatoes. And
Got the potatoes.
you know what, Percy? We went there to get a fucking potato. You guys know how many items we left with? Like 30! I'm not even exaggerating! We went to get a bag of potatoes and kept 60 fucking items! And I was like, Mom! We came for a bag of potatoes!
She needed all the
I'm going there.
seasonings too.
Not just that, but she also decided she wanted steak and salad. And I was like, Mother, I love you. Stop fucking thinking. He looked, that was fucking funny. Anyway, and so I'm just like, are you fucking serious? And I love you, Mom, but we left the fucking store with like 600 fucking items. Mother, we went for a bag of potatoes! And we left with 600 different things! Oh, I wanna die! Who the fuck is calling me? Ugh. Fuck! Does Dad not have a key? One second. I'm coming! I'll be right back.
Casually dies in the process. Yeah. I knew that. Oh. Well then.
Anyway, I'm back. Now to actually get into the topic of fuck. Now to actually get into the topic of the
Now onto the topic.
of the Titanic.
Yes. The Titanic's maiden voyage was intended to be the first of many successful transatlantic crossings from Southampton to New York City. She would make her first stop at Cherbourg, France. She would make her first stop at Cherbourg, France at 6:30 p.m.
The word we can't pronounce.
Yes. And she took on an additional 274 passengers and discharged 27, before leaving for Queenstown, Ireland, now known as Quebec, at 8:10 p.m. On April 11th, 1912, at 11:30 a.m., Titanic would weigh anchor in Queenstown, Ireland's harbor, and take on an additional 123 passengers, now totaling a massive amount of 2,240 passengers and crew on the ship upon its departure from Queenstown.
The sad thing I feel about the Titanic is the fact that even though a lot of passengers died, I think honestly, it's really sad that the crew died as well. Just like, I know it's sad that all of them died, but if you think about it, the crew, like, it was their job, it was their life. They live and die, Oh, and how they didn't care about the lower class citizens. More lower class citizens died than any other class.
She was off cruising across the northern Atlantic Ocean towards New York City. Her estimated time of arrival would be Wednesday, April 17th, 1912. But sadly, that would be an appointment the Titanic would never meet.
When
April,
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
what were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, what we need to understand around the area that when they were sailing towards, they were in fact, I know we're not there yet, but they were in fact warned about the icebergs. And fun fact, the water was below freezing outside when the ship sank. So those who did jump into the water, most of them did not survive. This hypothermia would have kicked in really quickly. Anyway, continue.
At 11:40 p.m. in the evening of April 14th, 1912, the RMS Titanic would have received a total of 5 iceberg advisory and spotting warnings from fellow ships.
Oi! Iceberg on ahead!
The RMS Titanic would be in the middle of the North.
I'm sorry, the way you said it, you said iceberg.
You want me to redo it then?
No, just keep going.
Okay. The RMS Titanic would be in the middle of the Northern Atlantic Ocean. She was cruising at a speed of 20.5 knots on very smooth waters. Although this would have been nice, in the North Atlantic this would prove horrible due to the fact you wouldn't be able to see the crashing water at the base of the icebergs.
The thing about
this fateful night.
The thing about when the The thing about when the iceberg was finally spotted, they were way too close and they were going way too fast to slow down. They did attempt to turn, which only prevented the ship from hitting it head on and put a hole in the hull. If you don't know what the hole is, it's like the bottom of the ship. You know? They put a hole in the hull of the ship. Hole? H-O-L-E. Hole? H-U-L.
In the hull.
Yes.
Okay. The Titanic would have 6 lookouts on duty in total, who would be taking 2-hour shifts in pairs of 2 due to the temperature and weather conditions in the Northern Atlantic. Despite the teams of lookouts requesting binoculars multiple times, they were never given them. At 23:39 or 11:39 p.m., Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee were stationed in the crow's nest of the Titanic, when Frederick Fleet would see an iceberg roughly 500 yards ahead. He would ring the bell in the crow's nest to proclaim that there was an iceberg ahead, and he would ring the bridge using the communication telephone, where it was answered by 6th Officer James Paul Moody, who asked Fleet, "What did you see?" Fleet would pronounce with the infamous "iceberg right ahead" warning into the phone, and Moody would copy. As he copied, he would pass Fleet's warning on to First Officer William McMaster Murdoch, who was captain in charge of the bridge at the time. First Officer Murdoch would call for a hard aport order, which would cause the ship's navigator to turn the tiller to the port side or the left side, which would thus then turn the ship to the starboard side or the right side. Murdoch would send a message down to the engine and boiler room crew to do a full stop, to stop the engines of the Titanic so that it would avoid crashing head-on into the iceberg and offer more time for a turn.
Sadly, they were unable to stop it in time, and the ship did hit the iceberg quite hard.
Yes. And this is a big misconception with the Titanic movie. People say that they sent an order down to put in a reverse thruster order. This never happened due to Murdoch's statement after the collision.
It was to stop it, not reverse it.
Yes. According to witness testimony of the Titanic, the iceberg was from 50 to 100 feet, or 15 to 30 meters high above water level, and 400 feet to 120 meters long. It is also to note that the majority of icebergs' mass are below water level, with only 10% being visible above water.
That really says about how much was actually underwater at the time.
Yep. Hold on.
Now, Do you need to go do something?
Yeah, just give me a second.
I'll just wait here.
Continue with
I can
what
cut
you're
this
doing.
part out.
Alright.
Okay. Boop. Boop. I swear I'm trying to be serious, y'all. It's just... I can't help myself. When the iceberg hit the ship and put a hole in the hole, the place where the iceberg, destroyed actually was the, what is it called? The
starboard side.
No, I know that. It was the place with all the baggage and the items. What was that place called?
Oh, yeah. Storage compartment A, I believe.
So the original place where the water began coming in was storage part A. And if they had gotten to, in most ships, back then at least, I don't know about now, there were different sections. Holy shit. There were different sections, each having a watertight door, which would have been able to keep the water just in the storage compartment till the ship could, get to a dock, the closest place it could dock. However, they were unable to get the doors closed in time, and the water fled into the boiler room, which fucked up the ship even more. And at that point, it was a little too late. So, if they had people on top of it, if we think about it, Percy, the Titanic was very ill-equipped for the amount of passengers it had, right?
Yes.
There weren't enough lifeboats.
They only had a total of 20 lifeboats that could hold 65 people on board.
Exactly. And there was it was under the requirement of lifeboats that was supposed to be on that ship.
Well, back then they didn't have requirements. We do nowadays.
Well, yes, but there was a recommendation for more lifeboats to be on that ship than there was.
There was a recommendation, but it wasn't a requirement.
Okay, sorry, it wasn't a requirement, but there was a recommendation for the amount of lifeboats that was supposed to be on the ship, and they were not. That means even if they had managed to get everybody on deck to get 2 lifeboats, they would not have had enough lifeboats to put people in. Speaking of lifeboats, when the ship went down, it also took down some lifeboats with it, as they were still way too close to the ship. When ships go down, especially that big, they make a little, you know what I mean?
Vacuum seal compartment.
Like a vacuum seal hole, kind of, because of the mass when it goes down. So it did end up taking some lifeboats with it, sadly, killing some people that might have survived had they, started lowering the lifeboats sooner. Instead of trying to cover up the fact that there was now a hole in the ship.
And it is to note that the iceberg did not cause a gash like most would think. It punched holes into the hull. It never did puncture the hull, but what did happen was
it was
underneath
a lot
the waterline
thinner
where the
than
iceberg
it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Underneath the waterline where the iceberg had punctured, it hit inside, and it caused the metal basically to bend and warp with its weld and break apart.
See, the problem with the Titanic was when the builders were building the Titanic, my opinion is they were building more aesthetically than they were for survival of the ship on water. So the hull of the ship, and where Percy said the holes were punched, was a lot thinner and not the kind of metal that should have been used in that part of the ship.
But what the Titanic was also built for, and what the build keep in mind, was pressure coming from the front of the ship.
Not the back.
Your ship has to be built to withstand pressure that doesn't tear it apart. That's what gave that Titanic its iconic shape from the front. Because
and the notion that it was unsinkable.
Yeah, that's what gave it that notion. And John Bruce Ismay, the CEO or guy who ordered the making of the Titanic and its sisters, the Olympic and Britannic, he thought Britannic, yeah. He thought this was true, which sadly it wasn't.
Now, if we're speaking about the other two sister ships, out of the three sister ships, two of them were sunk. The Britannic was what do you call it, a medical ship?
Yeah, it was a medical ship during World War
In the war, and was taken down by a torpedo. If you want to hear an episode on the Britannic, then feel free to comment. We would, I'm sure, be happy to do an episode of the Britannic too.
Yes, we would. Now, the sad thing about the Titanic's designer with the blueprints knew it was unsinkable if 4 compartments were breached.
But the rest...
Although it would be undrivable, unpilotable. But if there is more than 4 compartments breached, like with the Titanic,
then
she would sink.
Basically.
Those aboard the Titanic were ill-prepared for such an emergency, so they were confused and scared. This is when Captain Smith ordered the Titanic's band to play on the top deck with the first and second class passengers to attempt to calm those down.
Now, if we're going to get into the band, it's this hand that you salute with, right?
Huh?
Your right hand. You salute with your right hand?
Yeah.
If we're going to the band, then I salute the band, because that band stayed on that ship as it sunk. They did not get on the lifeboat. They were playing music to hopefully calm the passengers down into a more... What is it called when you're trying to get
mellow.
People to, settle the... No, to, get people to settle the fuck down so you can get orderly, so you can, So the hysteria just... You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, kinda. I just don't know the word.
Anyway, they were trying to calm the passengers down so it would be a little easier to get everybody orderly and in lifeboats.
Yes. And the man in charge of this band was Wallace Henry Hartley, who was born June 2nd, 1878, and he died on the 15th of April, 1912. He was an English violinist and bandleader on the Titanic, and he became famously known for leading the 8-member band. At one point, the band was going to depart from each other so they could escape the sinking vessel, but Hartley stayed behind and played his violin, which made all the other 7 members stay with him so they could calm those down before they would eventually meet their demise.
And I do salute that band for that, because it would have taken
Yes.
a lot of balls to stay on that ship as it sinks, knowing you're going to die anyway.
And we talk about a lot of the about the band and all these other people who stayed on the ship until they couldn't, like Molly Brown. But we never really talk about the real heroes. Because within the boiler rooms of the Titanic, the crew never escaped.
Nope,
At least
they
not a
all
lot of
drowned.
them.
They were the first to die.
But the ones near the stern, or the rear of the ship, they stayed and kept shoveling coal. They had time, but they chose to stay and keep shoveling coal so the Titanic could be a beacon for ships nearby.
Now, whether that was, in some people's opinions, foolishness, or other people's opinions, bravery. In my opinion, it was bravery. I don't know about Percy's.
Yes.
It was
That was
still
bravery.
salutable. Some people may say it was foolish. It was, because I know that I've had this conversation with people before, and they've been like, it was really foolish for them to do that. They should have had self-preservation. I think it was more bravery. They were trying to, help everybody else. Now, if you're going to sacrifice your life to save everybody, even if you have time to get out and save yourself, who cares if it was self-preservation? I salute you anyway.
Now, it is to note, although the women first, children first protocol was a good protocol, it would cost the lives of many, as a lot of the passengers on the Titanic would stay behind to let women and children get off first.
Although there were those men that would jump in
Yes.
and kind of fuck everything up, but
Just like Bruce's May. He would get onto a lifeboat that was being commanded by Murdoch before, and this would ruin his reputation in America. Which...
He wanted to save himself for his reputation and ended up ruining it. What an idiot.
Yep. During the departing of the lifeboats, the Titanic would send out distress signals into the air, which were white rockets. Now, the closest ship nearby was the SS California. It was a British Lowland Line steamship. She is thought to have been the only ship to see the Titanic or its distress rockets during the sinking. Despite being the closest ship, the crew took no action to assist. The ship's 24-hour Morse code operator had signed off without permission, believing that the night would be peaceful, and then the Titanic would send out distress signals via Morse code and rockets, only to be heard by the RMS Carpathia, who was 58 miles away and had a top speed of 17 knots. She would arrive approximately at 3:30 a.m. in the morning.
Now, somebody told me something about the color of the fireworks having to do with the rescuing of ships. Was that you?
Yeah, I believe that was me. Because I believed... I got my stuff wrong, but to my knowledge, back then, American ships and British ships had two different rocket signals. Red was, hey, we're dying, we need help, come save us. And white was, hey, we're celebrating over here, don't bother us. I thought the SS Californian was an American ship, but it turns out it's a British steamship.
See, that's a little fucking weird. You know, because California's a U.S. ship. I mean, a U.S. state.
Yeah.
Anyway.
During the sinking of the Titanic, she would raise up out of the water, and the stern rear of the ship would be suspended above water. The ship would break in two due to the immense amount of pressure that the hull couldn't withstand, and the stern would go upright and bob in the water before its interior would implode and cause it to sink.
I swear I was not trying to be insensitive, but it literally went... It was like...
Oh yeah.
Basically that.
Yeah. On the ship was a woman named Margaret Totten, or Totem, otherwise known as the unsinkable Molly Brown. She became a national heroine in 1912 after surviving the sinking of the RMS Titanic and performing several courageous acts. She was also aboard lifeboat number 6, which would disembark from the Titanic at 1:10 a.m. with only 24 souls on board, despite it had the capacity of 65.
To hold about 60 something.
Molly Brown would attempt to get her lifeboat to go back and rescue the survivors from the debris field after the Titanic had gone under. But she was unsuccessful. The boat commander, having threatened Miss Brown by saying, "There will be one less of us on this boat if you don't shut the hole in your face." Lifeboat 6 would then be photographed as it approached the RMS Carpathia. That photograph should be popping up on the screen right now.
If you actually send it to me this time.
Yes. Sadly, this would be the fate for all 20 lifeboats that left the Titanic. No lifeboats were left on board after the ship sunk, but only 2 lifeboats would return, Lifeboat 3 and Lifeboat 15. They were the only ones that went back to the debris field to rescue survivors, but sadly, the boats were too late. And the majority of the poor souls in the water had succumbed to hypothermia. Only 12 souls were rescued from the water, 3 of them passing away later due to hypothermic temperature. The RMS Titanic took 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink into the Atlantic Ocean with the lives of 15,000 people on board. Only 706 would survive the sinking. And now the moment lives on with us as a simple memory. For all those who were killed at sea, we hope you rest in peace.
Percy.
Yes.
Percy. Salute with me.
I can't. I'm on the Xbox.
Right, so he's on Xbox, but I'm gonna salute for him.
Yep.
Anyway, I have nothing else to say.
I would like to know, because I know some people in the future will be saying, "Oh, well, the Titanic wasn't the thing that sunk in the water." It wasn't. It was. Okay.
It wasn't. It was.
Yeah. People say that the Olympic, which was the first ship that Bruce Ismay had ordered the building of, was the one that sunk. Now this can be this can be debunked. Because the A-deck promenade on the Titanic and the Olympic, let me pull up the photo so I'm not talking that fucking lies.
He'll send me the photos so I can put them up and compare them like you.
Yeah. So the A-deck promenade on the Titanic was closed off, right? And the A-deck promenade on the Olympic, it was open. So that debunks that theory immediately. But then people say, oh, well, it was just switched around and all that. Now that would be able to, now you could debunk that. Or you could say that. But if you look up what the Titanic's ship number, because the White Star Line had a ship number on each boat, right? Before it was named. The Titanic ship number was 401. Now I believe the Olympics was 400. Now if we go down to the wreckage, let me pull up the photo. It would be the same. It would still be 401. If I can find that photo, I might not be able to though.
Now, I know I said I had nothing else to say, but can you fix that? First of all.
Oh yeah.
When I was filming last time, it actually moves the camera when he does that. Anyway, I know I had nothing else to say, but oh my god, I'm so sorry. My brain is lagging. The interior of the ship. So, I need to stop saying that word. So, fuck. So,
If you say so one more fucking time.
I'm sorry. So,
I know, I'm just
people did not just die by hypothermia or the fact that the ship was sinking. A lot of people were actually also killed by the furniture inside the ship that was unsecured on the inside, like tables and chairs and even heavy objects like chests and beds. They would be crushed when the furniture, fell when the Titanic was shifting. Which is also really gruesome, if you think about it. So, there's that. It's a fun little fact.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And I do want to talk about the fact that, people have theories about the Titanic sinking in other ways, such as there was a torpedo. Right?
In those waters?
Keep in mind, yeah. In those waters, that'd be very unlikely. And World War I happened after the Titanic sank. Mm-hmm. So if the Titanic was to have sank due to torpedo fire, it would have been sent straight to American government systems, British government systems, France, and Ireland. Because they had civilians on all those ships, from all those countries on the ship.
Wasn't Titanic in international waters at the time as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember the Titanic was holy shit. The Titanic was in international waters at the time. There would have been no reason for a torpedo to hit it in the first place.
Yes. if it was a torpedo, that means World War I would have happened much sooner than expected.
Mm-hmm.
And then people say that there was a fire. That could be a case. But why would the boiler room men... Exactly. Why would the engine crew and the boiler room crew have stayed inside their compartments? And
also, I don't think a fire would have ruptured the hole the way it did.
Oh yeah. And then there's witness testimony stating, hey, there was an iceberg. So if there was a fire
for those of them that survived.
There's a fire in the middle of the ocean. Why would they all have the same story? Hey, there's an iceberg. There was an iceberg that sank the Titanic.
Hey, Percy?
Yes.
Can you spawn that Titanic figure thing again?
Oh, yeah.
I need it. Here I go. Anyways, so that's it for me. Ash, signing off with a salute to the sad lives that were lost at the Titanic.
And that's all for me as well. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. And yeah, this is my form of salute. I can't really salute because I'm not on VR, but may all the people that were lost at sea rest in peace. Good night.
I believe one comes after.
Yep, one.
Okay.
Hello, all of our lovely fans that are non-existent right now.
Except for maybe my parents. You know, my mom and my dad, who, you know, they're my mom and my dad. Anyway, shit. I went to itch my face and my button picked up the maker pen from my back and it just started going everywhere and I was like, Right, is this thing still recording?